Welcome to the Ride of Your Life podcast. Featuring Donna, the Piston Pussycat. Hi guys, we are here today with the fantastic Donna, the Piston Pussycat. I keep getting that messed up. I was just going round and round and round in circles, getting my tongue tied. But we've got another episode today. Today is episode 9. And you know what? I've spent the day with Donna and I've learned so much about her. I feel that she's super inspiring. She was actually recommended to come on the channel and I'm super glad we've got her on board. So I guess it's over to you. It's like the hottest day of the year. But
I know. We couldn't have picked a worse day of the year. We like literally melted.
I was like, okay, sod the makeup, sod extensions, sod everything today. It's just too hot. I'm wearing my partner's t-shirt. I'm wearing baggy jeans. It's like, I can't be done with it.
Yeah.
But you've come down in your stunning Mustang.
Thank you.
Apart from your bikes as well. But how did you get into then riding? Because that's why I contacted you, was the whole riding perspective. And you've got quite the story for riding.
Well, I passed my direct access in July 2010, so I've actually been riding 11 years. So I feel that I've kind of been at the beginning of riding before it became kind of very social media orientated. Mm-hmm. Basically, what happened was I was out one day just in my car and there were a group of bikers and then there was this girl and she had L plates on and she was like out with this big group of like guys riding and I was like, wow, she's really cool. Yeah. But I don't want L plates. So I was like, right, how do I do this? So I just started looking into it really. It was a lot harder back then because you kind of got the yellow pages out, so you could Google, but things weren't as
accessible.
Available. So I kind of got my yellow pages out, looked for like places that taught, did lessons and things, and that's
because you've taken it quite a long way. So you do not only riding just as a hobby, you've taken it onto track, you've done the whole 9 yards, I guess.
Yeah.
So what got you, how long have you been riding, did you say?
11 years.
11 years.
So I did a few kind of years on the road. And my first bike was a GSXR 600.
Yeah.
And it was just a really easy, dependable bike that you could kind of jump on and ride out, and it would give you confidence. And then I moved up to a ZX6R, and that's kind of where my love of sports bikes came from. And eventually, that road bike, I tracked it, so took all the fairing off, changed it into a track bike, and really got quite interested in doing track days.
Yeah.
And in 2016, I decided to go. I started looking into how do you get your race license?
I'm going to take a step back. But how did you decide randomly? Oh, I want to go and do track days. I want to do. How did that progress from getting that full license to?
I don't know. I just I used to go watch like BSB. Go down to Donington or Silverstone, and then you were like,
was it easy for you to get into?
It weren't too bad really, as long as you kind of spoke to people and got like advice. And to be honest, the track kind of scene is very welcoming,
right?
So they are very willing to help you along the way and tell you what you need to do. So I did I started track days in 2013, so that was 2 years after I passed my test. That's right.
Wow.
Quick maths.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at maths. And then I did 3 years of track riding and then decided that I wanted to do my ACU. So from going and seeing all these races, I just got really super inspired by watching the races and
I was quite surprised. Like you're quite an array of things. You've got a gorgeous car, you've got the bikes, you're an entrepreneur as well. how have you managed to like mesh that all together as a dream? Because you've got your business as well, and you're thriving, like you said, in your business at the moment.
Yeah.
So how has that all meshed together, and how does that all work as a
How does
a
it all
package?
work?
Yeah.
Being very, what's the word? Organised.
Really? What do you mean by that?
If you're very organised in your life, you can fit a lot in.
Right.
I think if you don't plan ahead, it's hard to balance everything.
Okay.
So as long as you've kind of got that plan in there, and you plan time for your business, you plan time for your track riding, you plan time for yourself, you can't lose, really.
Because the more I've spoken to you throughout the day, I've learnt so much more, and it seems to be like adding more and more and more and more to the package.
I know, sometimes
And
I'm like, a little bit like, no.
You're like, yeah, I've done
Stop.
that, and I've done this, yeah, and I was over here doing this, and decided to get this car. I've had these bikes, and I'm just like, right, okay, what am I going to even
I'm just
speak about?
Yeah, I can be a little bit impulsive.
It's good though, because when I came across you at first, I don't know if I would have pictured you the way you were, and you're so warm and welcoming, but you've achieved so much. And even like you said, there's been some tough times like through COVID,
Yeah.
and you've managed to not only come out of that, but say my business is thriving.
Yeah.
How has that been? Because you, what kind of mindset things do you practice? What do you do to like keep yourself on track?
To be
no
honest,
pun intended.
To be honest, I'm usually, I mean, until COVID came along, I'm quite just get on with things, kind of work, do what I enjoy, things like that. But I think when COVID came, it kind of stopped a lot of normality. So you kind of got used to a new bubble, which
people are going to be so tired of hearing that word.
They are. But yeah, you kind of get used to this new bubble, and then it's very hard to come out of that bubble afterwards. So you're kind of having to readjust all over again. So you've come from quite a positive bit of life, and I thought that the first lockdown was amazing. I was off work, and I'm like, yeah, that's brilliant. But then you kind of think, well, actually, it was a little bit, what's the word, damaging in some aspects.
It was very surreal. I felt like it was such a weird excitement, because you'd never seen the world shut off, you'd never seen the streets empty, but then it was also really uncertain.
Yeah.
And you felt safe at home, but then you're like, now everything's back to normal. You're like, how do I actually?
And then you kind of get stuck in those four walls. With getting used to being with people too much. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, how do I kind of function and go back out into the world?
But your business is thriving.
Oh, absolutely.
So how did you manage to come out of COVID with a thriving business, and with all these situational changes economically?
Yeah, I've got a really good client base and a very good word of mouth as well.
Right.
So my customers were dying to get back into the shop.
Yeah.
So I've had my existing client base who are very loyal, and then through the word of mouth, just more and more clients coming my way, to the point now I've got quite a busy diary for months.
So what does your business entail? It's tattoos?
We do tattooing, body piercing, tattoo removal, semi-permanent makeup, and aesthetics.
Wow. So how long have you had your business for?
16 years.
16 years.
Yeah.
So did you just fall into the artwork of it? Because I do think tattoos, bike world, cars, it's all very aligned. It's a very... not for the reason people think it. I would think that, but I see it as a very artistic world. When you design a car, you design a bike. The way it's very creative. So I see how that meshed. But were you always quite creative as a person, or?
Yeah, I was at school. Quite creative, and probably not as much now, because I've just been doing it for so long that I'm kind of I'm kind of like, I would like to bring a tattooist into my shop now, and I would like to grow my business and focus more on my aesthetic side. That's my goal. But I'm just kind of growing that part of my business at the moment. So I've had this successful business, and then I'm like, I'm not happy with this. I'm just going to grow it a little bit more. I've been a glutton for punishment.
Are you very... So how would you describe yourself? Are you very structured in how you do things? Are you
I
laid
like to be
back?
organised. I like
You're
routine.
organised, but you're spontaneous.
Yeah. In my everyday life, I like routine.
Mhm.
So I just think if you've got a good routine, then your days go by quite well. But also, again, the dreaded C word, I think that coming out of this third lockdown and back out into the world, because I kind of locked myself away a little bit.
Yeah.
I've realised actually life's too short and we just need to get on with it and enjoy it. And I kind of, in about October last year, decided that I wanted to come off social media for a while.
Yeah, you said.
And I reactivated my account about 8 weeks ago. And I just really decided that I've had confidence issues, even though I do track days and I've done racing, I still have confidence issue in biking.
Right, I wouldn't have thought that. Not with
I know,
all the
but-
experience you've got.
Yeah, but I mean, I weren't the fastest person out there. I went to experience it and say that I've done that, and
Yeah.
I'm quite proud that I have been able to do
Because
that.
even like I suppose a persona that I've seen where it says the Piston Pussycat, finally got it right. Don't know what was happening to me at the beginning. My tongue was going everywhere. But the Piston Pussycat, all the persona seems very like extravagant, strong, business, passionate. But then for you to say that you would have struggled with confidence issues.
But do you know how many people are sat with the confidence issues and
It's true,
too
very
scared to say that they have them?
yeah.
You know, it's okay to be scared of your bike. It's okay to drop your bike. It's okay to have a bad day on your bike. You
Yeah.
know, it's a bike at the end of the day. It's just metal. And, you know, you've kind of got to have a lot of respect for what it can do. And you're in control of it. You're kind
Because
of...
you've had quite a few bikes, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
So you had, because I've definitely stalked your page. I've had such a look through and I was like, wow, you've had every bike. So I look at that and I think, right now, what bike do you currently
A
have?
HP4.
Because you had the S1000 at one
I
point.
had the S1000 in 2015 to 2018
Mhm.
and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, because it's a stunning
loved
bike.
it,
So are
yeah.
you planning to expand your bike
I would love
portfolio
to.
again?
Yeah.
Because what made you downsize it?
Just personal kind of circumstances, you know, like buying houses and getting,
Yeah.
you know, like doing
Yeah.
like serious
Life
adult
stuff.
things. Yeah.
the big stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
Because you've got the stunning car, you've got the bike. What was the reason back then for having multiple bikes for you?
I liked having just a different array. It's nice to one day think, I just want to trundle along on kind of a naked bike and not really think about what I'm doing. And then sometimes jump on something that is just ridiculous and scares you to death. And sometimes I'd get on my H2 and I'd be like, why the hell have I brought this out? It just wants to throw me off everywhere I go. And I'd be like, I'd come home and I'd be like, why have I just like ruined my confidence today? And then some days I could get on it and I'd be like, wow.
What's your favourite
just
bike
love you.
been so far?
The S1000 and the H2 definitely.
I
love things that are different.
because I hadn't seen much about the H2s before,
Mm.
and I've seen them more and more now. And I sat at home the other day and I was like, I think I really want a H2. Like just
Do it.
suddenly, because it was the S1000,
Yeah.
and then I've been going more towards the H2s, just the way they
It's
look.
amazing, yeah.
Oh my gosh! So what's your expansion then? What kind of things are you looking to expand into?
I don't know. I would like a track bike,
Mm-hmm.
but it just depends on circumstances at the moment as to what I'm going to do with that. But I kind of have got my eye on
So
a
what do
couple
you
of
do
bikes.
to get confidence in an industry like this? When you're a woman in biking, you're in track, you're a businesswoman. What kind of things did you practice that pushed you to get over the line to thrive?
Not to listen to people, for starters. I'm
Right.
sure like Ruby has kind of covered this subject, but for example, like I'd done a track day on my bike one time and just went out for a ride, turned up somewhere with my husband and then parked up and somebody would walk up and they'd go, "Oh, them tyres are scrubbed in. Has he done that for you?" Oh. And I'm like, "No, I did it all by myself."
So you just have to develop the thick skin, I guess.
Thick skin, yeah, definitely.
Because you're
it's
a
hard
Yorkshire lass
sometimes.
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have technically thick skin when you're from Yorkshire.
Yeah, you have to be.
But I did find that a lot. I know that I've said it in multiple podcasts, that it was learning the direction and learning to be able to just know what I'm doing and have that strength to go forward. Yeah. So, you know what, you've come quite the distance, and you've gone through ups and downs through your life, obviously, like everyone has. What would you say are like some of the highlights that you've gone through?
Definitely enjoyed racing for 3 seasons. That was just really cool, being involved and just going out, buying a bike, buying a van, buying a caravan, and just hooking it up on a weekend and just going for the weekend. And it wasn't just the racing, it was the social aspect of it as well. Was
it's
just
so
fantastic. Yeah, it's brilliant. You know, everybody's so friendly and such a good laugh. And then when the racing finishes, and you're just like, everybody's just so excited and vibing, and it's great. Yeah, because I loved it.
I don't know, I've always loved the idea of doing track racing. But I'm also like dead scared.
But you'll learn so much.
The adrenaline when I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my God. Because you've got a few lined up, haven't you, this year?
I've got one at the moment. I've got one at Bedford Autodrome, and I've never done that track, so it will be quite interesting to go do it. And it's on the HP4, which I've only ridden on the road so far. So
what kind of prep did you need to do? How did you learn about how to prep your bike, what to do?
I've been really lucky through racing that my husband is really good hands-on with bikes, so I kind of couldn't have done it, you know, without that support. I've been and done motorcycle maintenance at college, like a little night course, just so I kind of knew.
Oh, you studied it as well, like a night
very
course.
Loosely. Yeah. I'm not going to say that I could strip an engine down or anything, but I didn't want to be one of those girls that went somewhere and then didn't know one end of the bike from another, because it's just quite embarrassing.
Courses like that.
I looked into it at my local college, and I just found this night course, and it was 12 weeks, and it showed you how to drop the oil, filters, like a service basically, and it was really interesting.
Things like that existed.
Would I want to service my bike ever again? No, I have no interest.
My partner
but
did that. It. We were at his on bank holiday, and he was like, "Oh, I need to service my bike." So you're dropping the oil, doing all of this, that, and the other, and he sent me on the other side of the garden to do clean the panels and stuff. Oh. And I was like, "This is because you're keeping me away from it, aren't you? You don't want me to do it." Because he's like, "If I do anything wrong, it's on me. But if you're around and something goes on,
what I kind of do is mess things up. I got asked once to watch a plastic bucket while some water drained out of a bike, and then melted the plastic bucket to the exhaust. You know, so I'm just not trustworthy around a bike.
No, I said to him, I go, "Oh, this is taking 2 days to do this or clean it, do the whole thing properly." And I was like, "So how much would this cost to actually get serviced?" He was like, "I don't know, 60, 100, or something like this." And I was like, wouldn't you just pay the money and save the time and know it's done properly? And you know, if you've got to complain, you can complain to someone. I was like, it's nice to know how to do, but would I want to do it? Do you personally service your bikes now? You and your husband?
I don't do.
Do you
I
take them
take
anywhere?
mine.
You take them.
I want my book stamping, but you know, when we were prepping this bike, you know, my one job was watch that bucket, and I melted it.
That's one thing I didn't know as well. Actually, was when you service it yourself, you don't get the stamp.
Exactly.
Then that's harder for resale and things like that. But no, the melting the. Do you know what? I have the biggest burn mark. On
you
the
have
back
one
of
job.
But my one job was to get off a bike, right? So I got off on the wrong side and welded my leg to the...
We've all done it.
The biggest burn. And I'm just there lesson learned, completely. Oh my God. I just had no idea that they did courses and things, because that's... As much as I probably wouldn't strip my bike and put it back together.
It's just nice to know.
Yeah, it's nice to know in case of emergency, and to know if there was ever an apocalypse, I would have to fix my bike.
And at the end of the day, you know, women in biking can be negative at times, so it's kind of good just to have a bit of a heads up.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I do feel that some people are more inclined to want to learn, and it's so easy for them to learn things. And then for me, I'm there like, honestly, you should have seen my face when we were pulling his bike apart. I was like, this is so scary, because what if you just don't do something, you forget to connect something back, or, you know, you've got to put everything back together, and then you're going to trust it and you're going to sit on it, and
exactly
the stress.
I know, that's how it, like when we were racing and, you know, he'd pull wheels off and put wheels on, and I'd be like, oh God, I hope all the bolts are in there.
Yeah, like there's that little, I'm that person that I question if I've closed the lights as soon as I've closed the lights, and I'll walk back just to double check, and then I'll leave, and then I'll be like, did I do that?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would ever be cut out for that. I'll definitely go and get the book stamped instead.
Yeah, definitely.
But oh my God, I don't even know where I've gone with the conversation. I was like, as soon as I heard that you can study it, I'm like, oh, okay, amazing, because it is something nice to know when you know what you're doing. And it's almost like for me in photography, videography, I know what to do, I know how to do it. Am I going to do it all the time? Probably not. But if push came to shove and I needed to do it, I'd be fine doing it. So I didn't know that. Have you done anything else course-wise, or like for knowledge of the bikes?
No, not bike related. The only other thing I did was like my ACU, which was my race license. So that part of that is in the classroom, and then like this multiple choice test, and then some time on track. And I didn't even do my ACU to go racing. I just did it to go do it.
Yeah.
And I did it, and then I was approached by an all-female motorcycle team to join an endurance race, and it kind of went from there. And I enjoyed not just the track racing, but the social aspect of being involved was just really good.
The camaraderie.
So yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed that.
So having said that, why did you never pursue like biking as a career per se? So I know you've got your business, but did you never think, because you do track, you do all of the bells and whistles, I say, around it, what made you not decide to take it on as a career?
In what aspect?
I don't know, in any aspect, because
I think I personally think I came into it quite old.
Right.
So sounds really
yeah.
But yeah, so maybe if I'd have done this from being quite young, then maybe I would have done. But I was quite established in my career.
Yeah.
So it just is really nice that I had it as a hobby.
Right, because the way it looks to me, and with social media and everything, I did question why, with all of your skill and everything behind that, why you didn't push that aspect of it.
Listen, I'm not that fast. I'm all right. I'm fast for a girl, but I'm not the fastest.
No, honestly, guys, today she says that we were in a car park and we wanted to get some cool footage, and she was like, "Do you want me to do a burnout, a donut? Like I could do whatever you want." And I'm there and just looking at her, thinking, "We're not even everything we're saying to her."
I've never done it before, but I'll give it a go.
If I crash, just don't put that in the video. I was like, okay, but no, you have a very like vibrant, like fun energy, and that's definitely fed through with everything that I've spoken to you about today. And I think that mindset, it was interesting, because even as you get older, I started learning riding pretty late as well in life, because of different choices I had made, and it's like, okay, I might as well go for it, because I've been reading up on all these people. Like, did you know that Jay-Z started at 20-something? Did you know that Meryl Streep wasn't in a video till this? I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go do what I want to do,
definitely.
see where it takes me. But I was just, because you said you're now starting off your Instagram again, you've reactivated it. Was that for a reason, or? Because,
like I said, I became busy in life, and probably, I don't want to say negative, but I just kind of wasn't feeling the whole social media kind of aspect. So I decided just to put a post saying, you know, I'll see you in a few months when I'm ready to post. I'm just a little bit busy. I'll post again soon. And going through the lockdowns, I know I'm bringing it up again, but especially the third one, we were all locked in. Terrible weather, and I just found too much comfort in my home. And I hid away and I didn't come out. And then about 2-3 months ago, I was just like, I need to change because this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, I've been this very outgoing kind of person who would finish work, get my bike out of the garage and just go. Every night that there was good weather, be out.
But it's so lovely that even when I spoke to you when we were driving here, you are so open to share about your ups and your downs and
Absolutely.
share about like, oh, I have confidence issues. Oh, I did struggle here. Oh, you know what? I'm not as good at some things here and there and there. I'm cool with that. And it is because I know I fall into a rut loads of times. Yeah. And social media was my career for a long while. I didn't really understand what I was doing because I was more catwalk or whatever I did. But I didn't have the balls to actually say, you know, I'm really struggling here. I was posting old content, doing old things because
that's exactly where I'd
safe.
got. Yeah.
I didn't want to show people I was struggling, but I didn't want to be inauthentic either. But I was like, what? Who even am I right now? So when you were speaking about it and being able to speak about it's
that's
amazing.
exactly where I'd got. It was kind of, I had no new content. I weren't doing anything. And then I had an opportunity come up to do a track day and was invited by a friend of mine. And I thought, you know what? I just need to get my big girl pants back on and get out there, get a new bike. I wasn't particularly getting on with my old bike and I thought I just need something. I want to get back to where I was in 2016 when I had my S1000 or when I had my H2. I wanted something that felt really special to me and I was excited to ride, and I've been out on this bike now 3 times and I just love it.
Would you say you're a petrol head?
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah.
Because I'm looking at all of your cars and bikes. I'm like, how can you not be?
Exactly.
But then I was like, just put the question past you, because knowing you, you'd probably be like, no, you know what? I just fell into this and it was just my life. But yeah, so with the social media, what drove you to want to be on it? What did you feel that was your callback from that?
To calling me back basically was so that I could tell people it's okay to have issues.
Yeah.
You know, I want to kind of show people my kind of, can't think of the word, my coming back to the social media scene and showing reality, showing where I'm lacking in confidence. Like, I rode out my bike yesterday and like there were loads of times I thought, God, I really don't like this. I need to improve on this. And I just kind of want to be able to go on a ride and then come onto my story and go, well, I took my bike out and this really scared me today, so I need to work on this. And just to show people that it's okay to just not feel confident all the time. You know, don't take your bike for granted. You know, it's powerful. You should have some tiny little bit of being petrified of it and respect.
Because the small bits I've seen about you since we connected was it felt like a good time for you to be part of like this as well, because this whole podcast was based about sharing the stuff that probably you wouldn't see through a photo.
Exactly.
And it's sharing that today was a tough day with my bike. Today my bike completely knocked me off. Today this happened. Today that happened. And you know, having gone through dark times, which I think a lot of people, now that everything's eased and we can get back out again, it's different because people think, oh yeah, hallelujah, we're back out there, but a lot has changed. We have all changed. And we've aged like 2 years. And in that time, we've not connected with people. We felt we should be further on in our careers or in our growth. And, you know, when you've been open to share that in such a matter-of-fact way, but also be clear that this is not who I am. It's not where I'm heading, but this is just the reality of the situation.
We can all form a persona on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, we can all post photographs. Yeah. We can all post nice photographs and make people think we're a certain way. But at the end of the day, you're just looking at photographs. I want to be a little bit more personal with people.
I think a lot of people are disconnecting with that.
Exactly.
So, I mean, coming from me, I'm modeled for ages and I posted the best of myself always. And people couldn't resonate with that.
Yeah.
So now, I still like posting my nice pictures, but you'll you'll still see me with my friends, in my reality, in my pajamas, connecting with my audience. showing the behind the scenes, showing the reality. As much as I admire people that, you know, put the effort out to be consistent with their photography, what is your story? What are you trying to explain to people?
I just want to give my honest and personal kind of comeback to biking, even if it's just to inspire somebody or teach them something a little bit.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's just an array of photos.
And there's nothing there. It's just content.
And
there's
it's
nothing.
like, why?
Yeah.
And, you know, I found that quite detrimental to me because I saw a lot of people doing well and they always seem to have a lot of pictures to post and a lot of things to do. And I'm just sat there thinking, okay, what am I learning from this? F all. I'm not learning anything from this. Okay, great. That's a nice road. That's a nice sunset. That's a nice tree. That's a nice bike picture of your bike near a tree. How does it connect? Why does it connect? What are you trying to show? Is it fashion? Is it beauty? Is it the journey you're going on? Is it the personal growth? The captions, Ruby taught me that. She said the captions are super important. What you write, if not through the story of your image.
I think it should be positive. If you're writing a caption, you know, make it positive, inspire people.
Yeah.
I might not inspire people. You know, people might look at my profile and think, "Oh God, she's talking a lot of shit again."
But positive through the negative.
But keeping it positive,
but real.
Exactly.
Because I feel that's what you are. You're not, oh, it's okay, I'm having a bad day, but it's okay. This is where I am right now. I'm trying to understand it. I'm going through that. And I think that's more positive than being like, oh, whitewash it with just happy smiles and smiley faces.
Well, you know as well as me, that's just not real life, is it?
But it is, because it is a funny thing, because a lot of people that don't connect with me personally will know that something dreadful could have happened to me an hour ago. But what you see, I'm smiling, I've got my best face on, nothing will faze it. But then behind closed doors, I'm like, oh my God, and I write a lot to kind of get that out there. And I've written a lot of journals, a lot of books at home, and I'm always terrified to share them because there's a lot of my story that I haven't disclosed.
But that's it. At the end of the day, like I just want to make this personal about my biking. Like my life outside of biking is my personal business, and I want to be here to kind of push people to say it's okay, you're having a bad day, I have a bad day, you know, just go away, think about it, improve on it. I mean, I will overthink if I know that I'm going somewhere and I'm a bit like, oh, I'm gonna have to park on gravel here, I'm gonna have to park on a bit of a hill. I'm overthinking this the whole ride there, thinking, oh, what am I going to do with parking this bike? Oh, then what am I going to do when I get it out? I'm going to have to get it out. So, you know, I will overthink a stupid situation like that.
I'm like that. Are you the type of person that wakes up at like 3 a.m. and just like...
getting Google Maps out to have a look at what
or
car
just that
like.
thing that haunts you and you just think, oh, and it's the most irrational thing. And you're like... Because I have this lip on my little garage where I can't get the bike out. And... in my head, I have this vision of me trying to push the bike out. It's quite you have to be quite forceful to get the bike out. Like, oh my God, what if I'm doing it and no one's around me and I fall and I'm trapped and the bike's trapped, and what if I can't get it up, and what if I scratch it, and oh my God. And sometimes I just have to think, okay, Salia, calm, breathe. It's not happened. Deal with what's happening right now. Be present and move forward. And not so much post the positives, but because there was a point in my social media life where I was going through a lot of personal stuff, but I was trying to be positive. But through the amount of pain that I was in, people were like, we can tell you're in so much pain. But I was still trying to be positive. I was like, today's been a really hard day. I've learned that I like to keep away from people. I like to be like this, blah, 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 blah. But people can read the energy. But a lot of people did message me and say, you know what, you have been sharing like this and where you are right now, and we can see you're really sad, but we really want to be there for you, and you've encouraged us to face what we feel inside. Because I felt that with you today when we were speaking. You're like, there's been some things that have been a little bit hard, but you know what, I'm really excited about getting back on my bike. I'm really excited about starting up my social media and sharing where I'm going to go to next. And I find that really uplifting, that you can accept where you are, you can be present with where you are and say, you know what, this is not where I am going to be in a month, 2 months, 3 months, God knows what. And I'm going to take more control and just go with the feelings as well.
That's it, you're right. Taking control is a massive part of getting yourself out of somewhere negative or a bad kind of cycle that you're in. And that's what I had to do. And I wanted then to use that as a positive kind of push for me to get back out onto my bike and just have some really good times out and to meet new people, because biking is about meeting people. I mean, you meet some people that you probably don't want to meet again, and then you meet people that you kind of embrace and don't want to let go for the rest of your life. You know, there's good friends, positive
I've
friends.
made some of the best friends in this short period of time that I've ever had. And I mean, everyone's going to come over to mine at some point and we're all going to have a nice barbecue or something. But it is nice because I'm quite socially awkward. You wouldn't think it.
No, I am too.
That's me. That's good. Because I'm very good at coming across and being able to vocalise. But I think that's come from education.
Yep.
Like,
and I think that is my problem sometimes, is because I am socially awkward, and then you've been locked away for 3 months and you're like, damn, I'm really socially awkward, I can't do this.
I had a funny little Barney the other day that I couldn't deal with how many people I was meeting in family, and it was so funny because I knew it was so irrational, but I was like, I'm just feeling super overwhelmed and I can't deal with it. And that's why it took me so long to organise myself with you, because I was just like, I don't even want to write, like, words. Things are not making sense to me. I need to take this slower. But, you know, I found that I can face those insecurities in this industry, which I've loved, because it's such a hands-on industry where you kind of learn as you go. You can't learn beforehand. There's not really a lot of studying you can do.
You've just got to throw yourself in there and get on with it.
And that's the highlight of the experience, really. So what are you going to throw yourself at? Have you done like much touring or?
No, not really. I probably would like to, but again, it just depends on circumstances. Like, at the moment, I just want to concentrate on my road riding, because that's probably where I lack the most confidence.
Right.
Like, I prefer tracks because I like the fact that it's the repetition. So you learn your lines and you just get quicker and quicker.
I feel probably similar to you, even though I've not done a track. I feel like, you know, when it's empty and I can just go and do what I need to do. What daunts you, or what don't you like much about road riding?
If I don't know a road, like yesterday, for example, you know, I don't like brows of hills. So if I'm going up, I want to back off or brake all the time, because I'm like, it's going to be a corner at the other side and I'm going to go too fast. I'm going to go into a field.
Just the overthinking.
Yeah, exactly. So I think for me, I just want to get out and do a lot of roads so that I can kind of learn routes and then just go out on that route again and be more comfortable with the roads, because I've kind of been in a habit of going local places that I know.
Yeah.
So I kind of do want to get out and do a bit further distance, but just day trips again.
I think I'm going to come with you then, because it feels like when I look at the other girls, even you will probably be so confident and seemingly so like, oh, I've got this, like, oh, wind in my hair, I've got this, and I'm there like thinking I'm going really quick, and I'm like, zzz, like looking at the cars, I'm like slowly moving. Because it's funny, I saw this meme the other day, and it was one of those memes that was like, you know, that thing that happened in the canal, the Suez Canal, where it was like when no one's watching and there was this ship going really down this narrow canal, it's fine. And then when someone's watching me, it's just like everything goes wrong. But it's nice to know that other people feel a little bit.
Do you know what? We're all riding for ourselves. Don't push to keep up. Just go at your own pace. Do your thing. You know, we're here. You're there to enjoy it. You know, don't go out. Don't be trying to keep up with people. Don't frighten yourself. Go at your own pace. And I think that is what, you know, I've rode out in groups sometimes and tried to push too hard. And I'm just like, do you know what? I don't want to anymore. I just want to kind of like bimble along and kind of look, a field of cows. And, you know, I don't want to really kind of...
You sound so similar to me. There's actually a video of me that my business partner has of me actually going, come on, cows. Because, you know, I love just being able to dilly-dally, and it's not so much about speed and like weaving in and out and this and that. I love to take in things. And
Exactly, you're in the countryside, take it in. If I want to go on the road and like just really wind my bike on, then I'm going to go on a road that I know.
What's been the most motivational part of biking for you? It's a tough question.
Very tough. Oh, wow.
Like, what brings you back to biking each time?
I don't know. Like, I've just had the best memories in biking, and kind of like being somewhere that I'm losing my train of thought with this now. I'm trying to answer the question, but
because it's a tough one. I always think
it is really tough. It's like I've met some of the best people and like had the best people in my life, and like I just kind of want that again.
Right. Because I found that there's a lot of people I've spoken to, and they've all had this grasp on biking, not just for the riding. There's been a lot that it brings them, whether it's the peace of mind or the communities, or for me it's the freedom to think, because you have to be present on a bike and not overthink, because I really overthink about everything. So it inspires me to hear what motivates people to keep getting back on their bike, because I came off. I said that, I don't know if I told you, I came off my bike a little while ago. I have a bit of a lot of jip going on my shoulder right now, but it was a lot to push through and get myself back on the bike and carry on, because I didn't go home straight after the accident. I got back on, carried on, didn't realise how bruised and battered I was until...
Yeah, but that's all the shock and the adrenaline. And
But then I had to be like, okay, I'm going to get back on the bike tomorrow. Because the ride that I carried on the same day was actually amazing. I was fine. But when I got back, the thought of going back on the next day, I was a bit like, oh...
Yeah, that's going to be bad.
How am I going to do this? To the point, like, I was questioning every movement. But then I thought about the people I'd met, the journey I'd gone through, even though it's so short. And I was like, it was just a little mistake.
Yeah.
Carry on. And the first 5 minutes was a bit, and then I was just fine.
It's okay to make mistakes. At the end of the day, that's how we learn. Just as long as you're not making big mistakes.
Yeah.
The little mistakes are fine. We learn and mould ourselves from little kind of mistakes.
Would you say community is what drives you to biking, or?
It was, and then it kind of wasn't last year, and I'm coming round to the fact that yes, I think that I do need to get more involved with biking and more people, and just become more confident. And again, we're socially awkward, so we need to get out there and
it's a good
people.
break to have, because you put your helmet on, you don't need to chat to anyone, and it's like, oh, okay, we're heading off, and it gives you time to be like, oh, okay, breathe, have that separation a little bit, and you're not just trapped in a situation where you have to keep like going on. So would you say, in your opinion, bikes and cars are aligned for you, or is one higher in your preference than the other?
I think with bikes and cars, probably there are slightly difference with them, because like with the bikes, you wouldn't go, well, I suppose there are people out there that...
I'm asking you the questions that make you think.
I suppose there are people that get in the cars and go out as a big group, but I kind of wouldn't probably do that.
But then in your opinion...
But then I would on a bike.
What are you
the bike,
to
I would go... I do like to go on solo rides, but I'm kind of trying to find my love again for group riding, because I rode out a few times and kind of had quite sketchy rides, because the people that you were riding out with were a little bit like...
Do you think that matters
riding
a lot?
out of their means.
Do you think that matters a lot, who you ride with?
Yeah.
Does it influence your riding
so.
a lot? Because I've not experienced much of that. I'm very particular with the people I connect with. So I would be very particular on who I ride with.
Definitely.
I currently only ride with my partner.
Yeah.
Just because I know I don't want to pick up any bad habits. I don't want to try and prove myself. I don't want to get in a situation that's not
at the end
healthy.
of the day, you don't need to prove yourself to anybody.
Does that matter though? Because have you ridden with a lot of different groups or?
A few different groups, and some of them have been kind of quite scary to ride out with. And then,
what do you mean by scary?
Like just people pushing again beyond the means, and you'd think, oh my God, they nearly came off, or oh my God, they nearly hit that car. That's kind of quite a bad. That's bad kind of group riding to me, and that has probably knocked my confidence. So I just would like to go out and ride with as many different groups of people that are safe.
Because you're part of Slow Boys, aren't you?
Yeah, I know Sean and Lily. No, I've not been on any of their ride outs. But
because they're very, I found that there's a difference in the people that you hang around with when you ride.
Yeah.
And that, because not from a first-hand experience, but from a second-hand experience, I've seen that, sadly, from near where I live, there's a lot of people that come off on the motorway, and there's been a few deaths over the past few years, and they're always on a ride out.
Yeah.
And there's always a group of them, and always one or two of them get in an accident together, and you just think, why was that? What were they trying to do? There's competition, and then there's unhealthy competition.
Do you know what? If you want to do that, go to a track. Get it out your system on track where there's no cars and you're a lot more safe. It's more controlled. You've got your paramedics there. You've got your runoff. You've got your gravel. You're not going to go into a wall. If you want to blow some steam off, go spend £120 and go on a blooming track day.
Yeah.
Why are you risking your life? You've got family. You've got wives, husbands, children. Why are you risking that on the road? Just take a step back. Just enjoy. The roads are for enjoying. And the track's for really going all out. Go blow your steam off there, for God's sake. It's just better than losing your life. Because, again, I've had 4 people in quite a close amount of time pass away. And that probably slowed my biking down a little bit as well, because it just gave me a little bit of food for thought. And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's real.
So if I wanted to get myself onto a track day, how would that process look?
Well, definitely go on Google.
Right.
You're
palming me off here. So look, just
this
Google
is how I did it all.
Right.
Just put UK bike track days in, and you will have people like No Limits. I think it's Red Line track days? There's be a whole host on there, and you can just go on to the websites and have a good look on there. Pick your
prep
group.
Do you need to do for your bike?
Do you know
yourself?
What? If you're just going by yourself, just to bimble around, just ride down there with your gear, and just take your mirrors off and just go and have a good day. Just bimble around. You'll learn a lot from just going around a track. Yeah, so much. And then you've got your foot in the door, and then you'll meet other people, and then you'll meet people because people on track days will be people who race, people who just ride out on the road. So you'll get a good kind of array of people that are there. So just chatting, really.
Yeah.
Chat to the person who's next to you.
Because I definitely think that's a healthier way to go about it when you want to go speeding, doing whatever you want to do. Especially a good way, I think, possibly to build confidence.
Absolutely. You'll learn so much about your bike.
Yeah, because you learn how it reacts to things and being able to play around with it in a almost controlled environment, which I think is a really good option for people. I just don't think a lot of people know how to go about doing it. Because I'm the type of person, as soon as I see a form, I'm like, no, I can't do that. Absolutely not. But I do know that I need to start being more around track days. There's a great thrill when you're at a track day. Because I did go to the Ducati one, and it was an amazing thrill about being there. But then I was like, could I do this myself?
Of course.
Yeah,
definitely.
If I can do it, anyone can do it. So what have you thought that you've learnt the most from track that you've been able to bring into your everyday riding or your life?
I think I wouldn't say that I ride the same. I mean, you'll probably see my track photos and think, oh, wow, she goes hell for leather. I'm not.
I thought.
I've got pictures where I've got my knee down. My knee down laps were always my slowest laps. So literally,
I was there looking at you thinking, bloody hell,
No,
this woman I've got coming on is just, like, we were on the way. I was like, do you know, she's into racing. She's got this. She's even got a gorgeous car. Like, oh my God, you seem very unattainable almost from your presentation.
The laps that I did, and I got my knee down for the photos, because we're all for the you're doing it for the photos, aren't you? They were my slowest laps. When I came back in and looked at my lap time, I was like, oh,
right,
that were rubbish. And then you go out and you give it hell for leather, but you're not obviously hang off the bike. And I mean, my body position, I could look at it and pull it to pieces on photographs. Like I say, I'm still got a hell of a lot to learn. I'm still learning. I'm not an expert.
I love that you're so relatable.
I'm just trying. I'm trying like everybody else. But the difference between it is I don't just think about it. I want to go do it and experience it.
So what other kinds of things do you want to experience then? Is there a list of things that you want to experience, or do you just want to throw yourself at whatever comes about?
Bike related.
Yeah. Bike or car? Go on, let's do bike, car, or...
Well, I keep saying
life
that.
as well.
I keep saying that
stuff.
for my next car, I would like a Lamborghini, but I don't know how
yeah.
achievable that is. I'm going to have to work really hard for that.
Actually, I saw recently there was a lady who just got herself a rose gold Lamborghini, and I was just like, oh, that's a shouty car. I was like,
I'm thinking it's just a Lamborghini, really, you know.
Are you a Lambo woman then?
I would do like a look of a Lamborghini, but
is that the dream car?
I think, yeah, I would have one, definitely.
Well, you would have one. I don't think anyone would.
I like a pickup truck as well. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
yeah,
completely the opposite.
Just like a big pickup truck, and then you're just like cruising along on the road. Nobody's messing with you.
God, that you're so juxtaposed. Like, you're one thing, but you're also another. And I think I adore that about you, because you're very straight to the point. And I love that you're so relatable, and you've just got this fun energy about you that's super young. I feel like I'm like an old soul. I ask all these deep questions about life, and you're like, sod the deep questions. You just live in the moment, live your life. And I think that energy is it's very rare to have. But I do find it a lot within the bike community. They're very free souls. They're very open thinkers, accepting thinkers. And do you think then, I'm going to go back to the question, because you have a great way of pushing me off my question. You're like, absolutely not answering that. What have you experienced in track that you've brought into your daily life or your riding life?
Just better body position. I would say my body position on the road isn't fantastic, but right. I'm more likely to move around on the bike more.
Do you think it's helped you with your confidence on the road, or do you not think
with
it helps?
Corners, definitely.
Right, okay.
I probably were a little bit scared of corners. I still am now.
Right.
If I don't know a corner, I don't know what's round the other side, I'm a bit like stiffen up.
Right.
But if I've been on a road that I know, then I can be loose and I can move about and, you know, off. Like I said earlier, I like routine. I like to know what I know. Then I'm in my comfort zone. Yeah. If I don't know
but that's another thing. You're like, I like routine, but I'm so spontaneous, and I'm like, right, okay, because I know corners are a freaky one. Hills for me are a freaky one.
Going up or down?
Up.
I
don't
down.
know why going up, because I always have this image of something happening and me going backwards.
Oh, no.
And I can't shake
it's
that.
It's the downhill for me, because I was like, oh, you could just
downhill
straight off.
I'm a psych. I don't know if I can say a pro cyclist, but I am kind of a semi-pro cyclist because I've done like overseas cycle treks and things like that. And going downhill was never an issue, but the fact that I can put my legs on the ground and stop, that was fine. But then going on a motorbike uphill, and it's so much heavier than me, I always think, oh my God, am I going to go? It's an irrational fear.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, am I just going to float backwards and not know? Because I would just stop thinking. I would just end up holding it and just...
Honestly, if you saw photographs of the first track day that I ever did, like, I sometimes go back and look at like the first track day, and I'm just like, oh, what the hell was I doing? What am I doing?
I swear to you, I don't know if I think highly of myself, because there was this funny meme I saw of this man on a scooter going around a corner, and it's like he like cocks his head to the side as he's going around the corner as if he's going really fast, but his body's not moved at all. And I was like, why does this feel like something I would do? Like, feel like I'm going super fast, but nothing has changed. I'm there. That's just like
me. It's like one day I went, I think I might just take my H2 on a track day, just to see what it's like. I'm going. I'll take my jigsaw.
Oh, and this is
I'll take my jigsaw and I'll take my H2, and I honestly had a few goes round on my jigsaw, and then I was like, right, I'll take the H2 round. I was like this all the way around. It must have been the slowest. Upright. Yeah, it must have been the slowest lap anybody's ever done round Donington Park. Like, I went round 3 times, and I thought, oh, well, I should have some decent photos. And he was stood on the worst bloody corner he could have been stood on for photos, and they were all crap.
Oh my God, I feel like you've got the but you're there again, you're like, oh, I'm super organized, but then you're like, oh, I just took it to see what happens to my bike there,
and then I parked it up, and I was like, I will never ever take you on track again, you are awful.
Oh my God, I do look forward to doing my first track days and experiencing all there is to experience in the bike world. I think just from a growth perspective, of it stretches me as mentally, and especially when it comes to business, because I do have the business on the side as well. Not on the side, takes up all my bloody time, doesn't it? But I do have the business, and hearing from women like yourself that you've got business, you've got families, you've got you're spinning all the plates, and I'm there like, okay, I can do this, I can make this happen. And sharing the stories that you guys have had, some of the most amazing experiences and friendships.
I just think when people, would never be jealous of anything that anybody's doing or anything that anybody owns. If you really want to do that, or if you really want to own that, work really hard, and you will get there. Accept that you may make a mistake along the way, but just do it, because you will regret not doing it.
Yeah. I think that's the probably nicest advice you could give, because there's always a regret if you don't do the stuff that you want to try and do. And I've learned that from all of you girls. I think you girls are probably, you women are probably the healthiest environment I've ever been in, because there's this good non-toxic camaraderie between all of you. You're supportive in personal lives, in professional lives, in all areas, and that's why I wanted to bring you on here and share a little bit about you, and have your voice heard, because I do believe people should be connecting more, male or female, with a lot of everyone I've brought on the podcast, because it's not about followers. It never really is. I can truly say that from the bottom of my heart. It's not a followers game. It's a content and quality of person.
Yeah.
And I love having connected with you through this. And I think to finish this off, because I know I could actually chat with you all day. To finish this off, I would love you to share one of the highlights of your experiences in biking. Here we go with a deep question again.
I think getting my time down to 1:51 at Donington, I think it was. There'd probably be people there going, God, that's dead slow. But for me, like, when I came in and I looked at my lap timer and I'd got my time down to 1:51, I'm like, yes. So yeah, that was
one of your highlights of your bike experience.
Yeah, from track day.
So
definitely.
Nice to see those little improvements and just be like, you know what, I've done that. That's amazing. So, and I'd love you to share with everyone, even though what you've said, just go for it and try everything. But what would be your piece of advice that you would share with everyone?
I've probably let social media affect me sometimes, letting it get to me personally, and then I've kind of just took a step back and thought, do you know what? It's just social media. Don't allow that to kind of define you. Go and make your own kind of story. Make your own experiences. Go do what you need to do, and if you make a mistake along the way, make a mistake. You'll learn from it. And I'm still making mistakes now, and you know, I can mess my own life up really well and make mistakes, but I'm just here, I'm just trying, and I'm just pushing forward and just trying to make the best of my life, really, because at the end of the day, it's not a dress rehearsal, so we've got to just get it right first time. So
it's super easy to think that you can, you know, you get caught up in living for social media, and you forget to actually be a quality
life,
quality person at heart.
Yeah.
So I think social media is definitely, it's not even a second, it shouldn't even be a second thing, it's a third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah.
It's the opportunity to share the best qualities that you wish to share. That means your journey, your advice, your time with people around you. It shouldn't be the defining factor of who you are.
I do want to grow my social media, but I want to grow it for myself and other people to kind of share. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I kind of had photos and I was kind of reaching back for old content. I want to have new content. I want to get on my story and say, right, I did this week and it was just really bad and it didn't work, and I'm going to try it a different way next week. Or, oh, hey, I've kind of been and I've tried these clothes on and they were really good, and try this. And so that's kind of what I want to put out there. I want to put nice photographs out there, but I also want to try and be helpful.
Yeah, I think I love that. I really love that about you. And, you know, Ruby, who recommended you to come on here, she's completely right that your energy is so uplifting, and even through any adversity, you're bringing so much to the table, and you've come back to social media with the right ideas and the right decisions and the right commitments. So I definitely think anyone that's watching this, if you've resonated really well with Donna, she's been amazing. She's very wholesome and just, you know, just a fantastic person to connect with. Head over to the Piston Pussycat, got it right again. And
there's a lot of dots in it, remember?
Yeah, there is, but I'll make sure I put the link.
Because Instagram just doesn't like certain words.
But yeah, no, honestly, you know what, it works for you, and I'm sure that we'll put all the connections on how to get hold of you. So connect with you. I think you definitely
please,
know.
People talk to me. I'd like to speak to people. I want to make friends.
So as much as you think you're an overthinker, I think you've got the technicality down. You've got the persistence. You've got the drive, and I really look forward to growing with you, going riding with you, and seeing where this takes me as well as where you go to from there. And I look forward to reading and hearing about your story a lot more and seeing where it is through social media.
Thank you.
So if you haven't already, like, share and subscribe, and for sure head over to Donna's account. Again, I'll have that in the link below. And until the next time, I've really enjoyed this, and I hope you have too.